Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparrows here on Roll for Chaos. Another fabulous Friday, and I'm here with some amazing people that, of course, I can't wait to see what they do this evening, how they react, how they play, and of course, we got a big game ahead for you tonight. But first, we have a word from our sponsors. That's right, non-existent sponsors that give us no money, but sponsors nonetheless. And we're going to go around the table and figure out which one of our lovely cast members is going to be pitching their sale first tonight in fabulous random fashion, Roll for Chaos style. So we'll roll a d6 and we'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. That is Nora. You are up first. Clarion Bell, what is your product? Can you give us your scene, please?
Okay. Introducing Bone Cracker brand. I have to switch tabs for my notes. Okay. Introducing Bone Cracker brand medical drill bits. These stainless, hypoallergenic precision Britanium bits come in several sizes, appropriate for jobs both large and small. Need to mount a hand cannon to a literal hand? Bone Cracker's got it cracked. Just can't find an alien implant without drilling down to the marrow? Bone Cracker will break it up. Don't get into a humorous situation. Tibia honest with you, Bone Crackers are the best deal around. For just 29 silver, you can get this 5-piece set. And we will throw in this heavy-duty Marrowinator for free. Order today.
Marrowinator. Ooh, that's a bit of a large bore, I think, right there. All right.
Well, you can imagine what it's for.
I don't want to imagine what that's for. We're going to move right along, continuing counterclockwise. We're moving over to Kai. Leife, what is your product tonight?
Well, today we're going to be trying out Duskily Craven's Out clothing brand. Performance clothes for the outlier in you. Soldier, sailor, civilian, spectator. Everybody's a person, and the Out brand's for you. These are clothes sent to you specifically to be designed for you, by you. They change with your personality. You feeling elfish today? Feeling dwarfish? Human? These clothes change for you. Duskily Craven has been known throughout galaxy-wide to be making new, inventive, sparkling brands. New clothes, weapons sometimes, but don't worry about that part. Duskily Craven, get out there.
Nice. I can just imagine Leife like doing the whole model poses and everything on screen as he's setting that up. And moving on over, Benjamin Red Iron. What is your product, sir?
I just tell this to the camera, or is that what I do? Okay. Hi, camera. I'm here to tell you about this exciting, my friend, this coffee maker. I don't really drink coffee, but if you do, this one will make it for you. And I've heard that's people like that. But don't take my word for it. I will let this product speak for herself. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. You really said it all there. I wanted her to talk about why she's good at making coffee, but I think maybe we all learned something about ourselves today. So if you want your coffee made, you should ask her to make it for you. Was that good?
Good enough.
Okay.
10 out of 10 with espresso again. So we're gonna move right on over to our next product. Gwen, Beatrix, what is your product?
B, and I'm a Oh, I'm not. Oh, just read. Okay. Do you feel lonely and sad? Do you not want to feel lonely and sad anymore? Then, gender-neutral playtime friend generator is for you. Simply place flat on a surface and utilize the proprietary self-dipping pin and a new friend. Now and get a 5 silver credit on your next Guile Bucks purchase.
Why, thank you for showing us how to really make friends. And we're gonna move on over to Jackal Amos.
Who's this Jackal agent I keep hearing about?
Secret agent.
I'll get him yet. Ladies and gentlemen, you've served your government well. You've gone out on the front lines. Now you've gone home, but you brought that training with you to every odd situation. From a well-to-do but incredibly insidious mechanic to an army of children, you're going to need something to help you with that situation. Heckin' gosh darn is here to help. Latest upgrades in our defensive line allow us to maintain a level of prowess inside of volatile chemical situations, such as cooking, engineering, or fighting off the occasional neighbor incursion. Act now and we'll include a surgical knife for those moments when you really need to untangle yourself or someone else. Only 271 silver. Act now while the offer is good. Not endorsed by some forms of entertainment discharge. Please see an operator before you speak about this in public.
Excellently well done. Everybody can use a combat knife in the kitchen. No, I could. So those were messages from our sponsors. Just so you're aware, every single sale you make on any of these products is 90% ours. Send all of that RFC way. And, with the tagline Sparrows, that would be great. Thank you very much. In the meantime,
I'm sorry, the coffee maker is no longer available. We're friends now.
You can't have the coffee maker?
Yeah, it's sold out.
What about the twins that the coffee maker has? Like all of the 150,000 of them made in exactly the same way.
There's more. I only know this one. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, maybe I'll buy the other ones then, or I'll show you them sometime, and then it'll be a party. So we move right along here. Last time on Sparrows, all of our crewmates basically just put out fires all episode long on their ship, learned more about each other, got injured all the time, avoided some, moments that might have turned into something more dangerous. Of course, revealed that the captain wasn't feeling well, that the crewmates had all been kind of jumbled and tossed around. Some of them were covered in literal lubricants. And Leifei was a badass, so, that's just par for the course. And they'd all decided to find out where they were going to head next, potentially following in secret an Empire tug as it headed back to its base to see if maybe they could procure a little, just maybe tiny bit of food and supplies and loot. In the meantime, a couple of other situations had popped up as well. B had been notified that there was an ancient outpost with some sort of weird biological matter in it, but that's no big deal. And Zep was interested in some sort of power source located in that location. And there was a scientific vessel nearby that is ripe for the plundering. Aye. But
Yar.
we now also know that there's a being by the name of Alberiat Safratis that Sylvia seems to be concerned about. Moving forward from here, we see everybody in their post positions as Leifei is on deck. The captain is downstairs sleeping. Leifei, you are supposed to be following this this other vehicle at a secure and safe and secretive way, past distance, and trying to stay out of view. Red Iron, you were asked to dim everything down as far as you could, so that we're not making a huge signature, not loud running, not bright and brilliant and glowing, whatever. Obviously, B, you are up at navigation, feeling incredibly tired at this point. Even your youthful exuberance cannot get over the fact that you've now been awake for 28 hours straight. Everybody else here is relatively tired as well, other than Clarion Bell, who has had time to recharge and had a rapid recharge happen with Red Iron not that long ago. Amos, you've been through a lot. You're a very tough individual. I'm going to have you roll tough as the first roll of the night to see if you're impacted by this lack of rest at all. You have been doing a lot of physical activity, however, but being the big, strong Lezerin you are, 28 hours feels like nothing to you right now. You are patrolling the ship. Scarborough's up here with you, nursing a bandage on his head. And Kai, if you can give us your approach. How are you attempting to follow this tug without being noticed? Are you just trying to dip and dodge and dive agilely between asteroids and just keep out of view? Are you trying to do this smart? Are you trying to just be aware of where they can see you at? So which stat would you like to use and why?
He is trying to keep a good, quite a long distance on them, and is inspecting the space behind them, sort of like tracking them by ship.
Okay, so you're staying...
tracking the remainder that comes after their ship.
So their exhaust, their trail, their energy signature, if you want to call it that, without necessarily being in direct view of them. So I'm going to say that this is an aware roll on your part. And we're going to see if Red Iron can assist you with keeping the systems quiet first. Red Iron, what are you attempting to do to make the ship be less noticeable, less flashy, less signature loud?
Red's just gonna cut the auxiliary power to the personal circuit breakers. So like the anything that any of the non-essentials, they're just gonna get shut off.
So even like the lights and everything inside the ship that would normally be there, giving people, what do you call it, ergonomics?
Probably leave like anything adjacent to an exterior wall. Yeah, that's just getting turned off.
Okay, so give me a brains roll as you attempt to shut down non-critical systems in the ship. Excellent, 23. So that's going to give a +5 to Kai's roll. So Leifei, go ahead and give us your aware roll with a +5 from Red Iron's expert assistance. 25. Nice. You are running quiet. You are running distant, and you are following more on feeling than on view at this point. And Leifei, as you continue moving the ship, as it were, through this space, everybody is able to work on getting some rest. So before we make it to the outpost, other than resting, is there anything else any of the crewmates would like to do? And I'll start with you, Clarion.
When Clarion's finished resting, she comes out to check up on Leifei at the helm, because I think that's what she was asked to take over at.
Yes.
And she asks, I noticed that you retrieved a radio from one of the security bots in the mining station. May I have a look at it?
Oh, yeah, certainly. I kept it down in my my stuff. It's right at the bottom of the ladder.
Thank you very much, and I am to relieve you.
Leifei,
Certainly.
You can roll tough as well to see if you're impacted by rest. You are an elf and don't need as much sleep as other people.
He'll take it anyways.
Okay, so you go take that rest. So, how do you want to get the supplies? Do you want to go grab them first and come up to relieve Leifei, or do you want to wait here and have him go get them and bring them back to you?
I can tell him to just go grab it and put it in medbay so that I can get around to it eventually.
Okay. So Leifei, Clarion steps up, grabs hold of the helm, and you explain to her what you're following. With the exceptional roll you had before, I'm not going to require Clarion to make a similar roll while taking over. So you just you basically just tell Clarion, just do these things and we'll be fine. So she does. You head down, you grab a hold of that old radio, you bring it and drop it off in Med Bay, and then you fall into bed and immediately pass out with music in your ears as you're wearing your headphones.
It's covered in fish pieces, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, your bed smells awful at this
Amazing.
point. So we move over to B. B, Zep is kind of buzzing around you as he's kind of waiting for whatever you have to do next. He gets like this before moments of danger, like when you were getting ready to go into the mine to begin with. But you, on the other hand, as you're staring at your column in front of you, you know, checking out the pathways and trying to help Lefe drive, have noticed that for some reason everything keeps going dark, like over and over again. And then one time you like felt like you stumbled, and then you realize you're so exhausted that you're having a hard time staying awake on your feet.
That sounds about right.
So what do? Do you want to say anything to Zep, or do you wish to just go downstairs and rest as well?
Zep, I know you're excited, but I just gotta go sleep.
You definitely should get some rest. Head to your bed, child.
Okay. And then she'll stumble down the stairs and just fall face first into her bunk.
Right into the bed. And very, very quickly we hear B snoring coming from the bed right after that. Amos, what do you wish to do during this downtime?
The helmsman is and the kiddo is something engineering. And just
You just fall asleep on the deck, military style.
just he's gonna just get up. They're just gonna get up. They're just gonna look left. They're gonna look right. They're gonna look at the stairs. Just, I'm not sleeping in lard. Just boom, plop.
So Amos finds themselves sleeping on the deck. It's a little hard, but you know what? Sometimes that realigns the spine. So, you know, it's fine. It's fine. And when you have a tail, it's some extra spine to realign. So he really needed that. Last person on the list here, Red Iron, what are you doing with your downtime?
Red Iron returns from briefly shutting the lights off and then sits down in their area of the engine room. Looks over at Sylvia and says,
I think that my consciousness management systems might be malfunctioning due to fatigue, because I think that you just said something about the machine god. I believe I'm having auditory hallucinations, so I'm going to go to bed now, Sylvia.
It is not a hallucination. The individual you all call the machine god is not false.
Okay, that's great.
and then just sort of flops over. Just
Over into your bed and goes to sleep. So everybody here gets in a good 3 hours of rest, 4 hours of rest, right about there before we get to the outpost. We can determine if you're going to stay and wait longer here in just a moment. But for now, everybody gains 4 applications of regen of their health and overload returned, except for you, Clarion. You have to repair yourself. You still get your overload reduced, but if you want to work on your head, let me know. You can go ahead and give that a roll, and we'll see how well you do.
Not while I'm at the helm.
You're just standing there like
That just
screwdriver
no,
in the
no.
head while you're flying. Yeah.
Seems like a bad idea.
All right, so you wait till everybody's up and ready. So you end up flying for quite some time. Since you're at the helm, you're going to be the first one to see all of this. You do have Cullens come upstairs at some point and just kind of take the position that Scarborough had, letting him go downstairs to rest and just keeping you company on the deck. And not too long, give me an aware roll. We'll see which one of you sees the outpost first. Looks like Cullens has it on you, just barely though. So he's looking out off the main part of the deck, kind of leaning up against the banister and just kind of leaning out and looking. So what is it that we're looking for again? Exactly?
We are looking for a base.
A base. Would that be sort of like that metal structure sticking out of that asteroid over there? And points it out to you, and you do see, yeah, very squat, like very gray metallic structure that's wedged out like someone took an iron spike and just stuck it into the side of this asteroid.
That seems to be the culprit.
All right, I found it. Well, it's right there then. So should I get everybody on deck then, or ring them up? I mean...
Yes, let's get the crew roused.
Okay. All right. So you see Collins move over and he starts like ringing the bell. Everybody. He starts grabbing over to the megaphone, the megaphone, the comm system. His voice goes over the intercom to everyone. Hello,
That's a
everybody.
non-essential system.
Everyone, this is Collins on the deck.
Cullens, I do not believe your voice is being transmitted.
It's not. Where's my voice not?
Red Iron was told to take the ship dark.
Oh yeah, crap. Well, I guess I'll have to go downstairs and talk to everybody by regular ways. Shoot. All right.
Indeed.
I'll be back. Kick. Amos, you're on the deck. Hi, Amos. Are you awake?
I'm gonna roll a D4 and see what happens. Amos grabs Cullens and just tucks them into a ball, grabs them by the collar or whatever, and just like a velociraptor just walks towards the stairs.
Whoa, what's going on? Amos, wake up. I think you're still sleepwalking, dude. Come on.
Go back to bed. School in the morning.
I'm not a kid. I'm not that young. I mean, I'm not a child.
Just because you're 13 years old and know how to protect your younger siblings doesn't give you adult permissions just yet. That's a few years from now. Go back to bed. Finish your algebra in the morning.
All right, but I can walk on my own?
Noted. Drops, flops, back to sleep.
And as you lay down and go back to bed, Collins just looks at Amos and goes, weird, and just goes down the staircase. First one he runs into at that point is Leifei, at the bottom of the stairs. He comes over to you and like taps you just on the shoulder. Leifei? Clarion and I saw the outpost were there. She just told me to go tell everybody.
All right. Need help?
Probably. We'll meet up on the deck. Do you want to wake up Red Iron? I'm kind of scared of his office. Engine room thing, whatever.
Yeah, sure. I haven't been in there for a while.
All right. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm going to go find B and B. Just the captain. Just being the captain. And Cullen's like goes around the corner. Leifei, you get up from where you're at, walk around the edge of the stairs into the back section of the ship, and you see a whole bunch of metallic objects almost spiderwebbed around the room. Red Iron is laying on the ground, wrapped up in cords that seem to be suspending him off the floor slightly, providing him a semi-cot that are coming out of the engine. You see him like swaying back and forth really lightly.
He inspects the line in the middle of it.
The line in the middle of it?
Lovely. What you done with the place?
Be quiet. Red Iron is trying to sleep.
Sylvia, it's okay. We have jobs here. We have to do things. What? Why? Sylvia,
I'm
what did I
sorry,
say?
It seemed like you were not having the ergonomical support that you needed. And you see all the little wires just back into the engine. You fall to the floor.
Actually, Sylvia, that what you did was a very good thing, but we're going to have to talk about a little thing called consent next. That's coming up.
I understand the meaning of the word. However, I'm not intending to keep you in a position that might make your faculties unworkable. Make sure
Right.
to take care of yourself better next time.
I like sleeping on the floor. I can hear the engine hum.
Oh.
Okay, it's all right. Now, what's going on, Captain?
Oh, all the captains are getting up top of ship.
Excellent. What's happening?
I wasn't told, but we'll figure out.
All right. Sylvia, I wanted to give you one last warning.
Yes.
Everything's going to look like it's going wrong. Whatever you do, don't panic and step in.
I can't promise anything.
Come on, have a little faith.
What is faith but nothing more than imagination?
You believe in a machine god. Anyway, we should go, Captain.
Red Iron heads up to the deck.
You rush up to the deck with Leifei at your side. And Cullens moves over and comes to B's bed. You've only had 4 hours of sleep, but you just see him. Or he comes over to you and, like, rolls your shoulder a little bit. B? B? Hey, B, are you still sleeping?
Yes, I'm sleeping, Collins.
Well,
You should sleep too. It's late.
I got the sleep I needed. I got my sleep. But, we're at the Empire Outpost thing, and they need you up on the deck.
Oh. I guess I should wake up then. Thank you, Collins.
You're welcome.
Is that a new scar?
Yes, unfortunately.
I like it.
Oh,
Bye.
what? Thank you. Eh? And she just zips past. He goes over to wake up the captain.
Yep, just bounces up.
So, you all make it up to the deck, where you see Clarion sitting there waiting, and Amos sleeping on the ground next to the staircase. Scarborough comes up, shrugging, getting rid of some little bruises that he's got. What's going on up here? We're finally at the place. And do I need to get the cannons ready?
Collins says we're at the place, but I don't know if we want to go in cannons blazing just yet.
So what the hell's the point then? We're gonna fight Empire soldiers. We're not just gonna let them survive, right? I mean, they just...
Well, of course not, but we have to get the loot, and if you're shooting everything with the cannons, then the loot goes away.
B, I don't like you.
You like me. You just don't know you like me yet.
Yeah, you just make yourself feel better. Whatever you want. So
Red's gonna Lezerin telepathy to Amos, seeing them laying on the ground.
Captain, we're under attack.
Okay, if you want to do this.
You're under attack.
Instantly, Amos jumps to their feet, weapon drawn, scanning the area. Just the occasional rise over people's heads because you don't flag people with a pistol in the combat area.
Let's see how quickly you're able to come out of the fuzzy dream state, Amos. Give me an aware roll as you jump up to look around, and let's see if you find a threat of some kind. That is a 10. Average. So for a split second in bleary-eyed vision, you see the blinking lights and the insignia of the Silver Shield Empire, right in front of your face, but then realize it's actually pretty far away.
Red Iron.
Yes, Captain.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Captain.
Cullens comes running up the stairs as you're all standing there and getting ready to do what you need to do, and he goes, he won't wake up. The captain's sick.
I will go see to him immediately. Lefe?
Okay. Do you want me to? Should I come with you? Should I get some water or something? He just won't wake up.
Yes, please get some water. Will you take the helm, Lefe?
Certainly.
All right, let's go check on the captain.
So Cullens runs to the medical bay, grabs a hold of some warm water or whatever. He's not sure what to get as you go down to see what's going on with the captain. Everybody else, as you're standing up on deck, what do you attempt to do? Are you going to try to take a look at this outpost, try to determine threats, or what's the scene look like? Lefe, what are you doing?
He takes the deck, worried about the captain. Takes the wheel, worried about the captain.
Okay. Red Iron, what are you doing while they head down?
Red's gonna go talk to that janky cannon from like episode 1.
The one that was missing the bearing, or the bearings. Okay.
Yeah.
So you walk over to that. B, what are you doing as Lefe goes to speak with the metallic objects?
B is taking note of where in the asteroid belt they are and looking for good places to kind of hide behind the asteroid while still gathering information on the base.
Excellent. And what is Amos doing?
Amos is looking at the outpost, racking their brain, trying to figure out if they've seen this before.
Give me a brains roll. Amos, give me a magical roll. B. Red Iron, give me a charming roll. And Lefe, give me an agile roll. Okay, so we're going to go through this through where the rolls came from. First off, Amos, you did ace, but you got the first roll in with a 13. This outpost doesn't... You don't believe you've been here before, but you have been engaged in a lot of places and a lot of times, and the Empire is nothing if not uniform. You believe that this outpost bears a resemblance to some of the other forward scout outposts you've seen in the Empire before, and if that's true, then the layout for this building should be basically the same as all the other ones.
I think I remember something like this. I'm pretty sure the guard's asleep, but when they wake up, it's going to be intense. And it would be probably best if we walked in there as a supply ship.
So, Amos, you also are aware that this type of outpost generally doesn't have more than about 10 people manning them. It's not a big outpost. All right, Red Iron, you move over to Old Busted Cannon, Mr. Squeaky Wheel, and what do you say to this cannon?
Hey, Mr. Squeaky Wheel, we haven't spoken since yesterday. I know you're probably not feeling better, but are you at least not in as much pain? Well, I guess that's nice.
You can definitely tell that Mr. Squeaky Wheel hasn't been fixed yet.
Wait a minute.
But
I think I can do this without a ball bearing.
You have a bunch of ball bearings. If you remember, Carrot produced a whole bunch of very highly polished ones on the ship that he supplied to you at the time that you all returned.
Garrett, that is extremely weird.
Red Iron says to no one. And then decides to swap. Actually, Red's going to go ahead and swap out all the ball bearings. Why not? If we got spares.
You start replacing everything there. Give me a brains roll as you do so. That is an 8. With an 8, you'll replace them. That's as far as I'm going to say. No.
Is Red aware that this job is below standard?
You give me an aware roll. We'll see if you're aware.
Oh, good. An aware roll. Excellent. My favorite roll to do on Red Iron.
No,
he's
Red
not.
Iron. Red Iron believes that he replaced all of these perfectly fine. Right at the moment that you finish the job up, of course, Mr. Squeaky Wheel begins talking to you. Oh, yeah, that's exactly. Yes, right, that spot. Nest. Yeah. Excellent, excellent.
I actually regret fixing you. I want you to know that.
Sasquatch.
You're welcome.
Burns, but
Hold up. Red Iron got an ace.
Red Iron got an ace from Annika.
Oh, Ty, I see you raised the price on those.
Just a little bit.
Was that on the aware or the brains roll?
Since this is delayed, I will let you pick which one you'd rather roll that on. If you want, I mean, it would obviously, brains would have more impact because you can just
Brain
fix the whole thing. That is a 12. 12 is significantly better. You're still unaware because of your aware roll, whether that's good enough or not, but 12 is quite better.
After what Mr. Squeaky Wheel said, Red still regrets fixing him.
All right, so you believe that you've repaired Mr. Squeaky Wheel, and we move over to B. B with a 14. You discern that there are a few free rotating asteroids in the area that happen to have a deep enough cave systems in them that you could hide groundhog style and watch this outpost for some time if necessary.
I'll point the most obvious ones out to Leifei.
Okay. Leifei, she points out some not too difficult to navigate large craters and holes out on a nearby asteroid. If you'd like, you can try to fly into one of those positions.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll assume that's my agile roll there.
That's your agile roll. So with an 11, that is enough to move in without scraping anything, although you are uncomfortably close to the edges of this cave system. So if anything goes wrong, you could potentially bump the ship into it. All right. Amos, after determining that, seeing everybody else there, well, you actually already did your thing. We're going to pop down now to Clarion. Clarion, you rush down below deck. You head over to the captain's cabin where he's resting, and you see him moving back and forth. His brow is very obviously covered in a heavy sweat. Precursory glance over him tells that there is a fever of 106 coming off of him right now.
My goodness. That's not good.
No, it is not. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna use my service bot medical scan to see if I can pick up what kind of illness it might be, like if it's an infection or if it's a poison, maybe.
Okay. Give me a brains roll as you do this scan, and I'll give you some details on that. Excellent. I think that actually puts you like a 24 right now. So you use your little scan over top of him, you get data fed back into your systems, and you can see that he has some localized problems happening inside of his brain. Your scanners keep telling you it's a form of parasite that's unidentified.
Sylvia,
Yes.
do you have anything to do with the parasites inside of Captain Cutlass's brain?
I do not. I believe those were part of his biology. I am sorry. I am not familiar with his species.
What is his species?
He's
Is it human?
Yeah, he's a human.
Very well, thank you. I'm not sure if I believe her, but she gave me that answer, so I'll just have to proceed on my own. Do I have any tools that would give me any more granularity on what's going on inside his brain up in Medbay?
Potentially, yes. I mean, with your innate skills, with your supplies up in there, you could potentially get a better look at it. Maybe analyze something if you take some sort of sample. That's of
Okay,
course, a
then
very
I'm
delicate
gonna
procedure.
ask Cullens to help me carry him up there.
And Cullens comes down holding a little pitcher of water. See, he looks really bad, doesn't he?
Yes, I think there are parasites in his brain. Do not spread that to the others, though. They might panic.
Parasites? Oh,
Yes.
no, that sounds awful. What do you got? Did it happen when you went to the mine? When you were in the mining facility?
It could have. Why?
Well, I mean, lots of you were there. I mean, if he's got parasites, who's to say none of you also have parasites? You can't get parasites, right? I mean, you're an automaton.
Not biological parasites, no. Unless they fed on metals. That is a disturbing thought. Thank you for that, Cullens.
You're welcome. I mean, you got to think of these from all angles. Maybe you should scan yourself too while we're at it. Hey, let's get him up there.
I will when I get a chance. Thank you.
All right, Cullen's gonna help you carry, unless you're weaker than he is. What is your strong?
Minus three.
-3. Okay, Cullen's is stronger than you, so you're gonna assist him. Go ahead and give me a strong roll, and we'll see what you add or subtract from his roll, and then I'll roll for him. Nat 20. Clarion's got that mama bear strength, that fear happening, but you are assisting. I'm gonna say with this, you basically just know how to enhance what McCullens is doing in order to not drop the captain. He's a little bit freaked out, but you kind of set yourself and start moving alongside Cullens, and you're able to carry the captain upstairs. You get him onto the bed. You get all your machinery set up. Two options here. Do you wish to try to do a more in-depth scan, which might help with future rolls, or immediately move to trying to diagnose by taking a sample out of his head somehow?
I think I'd like to do another scan first.
Okay.
Before we go to sampling.
All right, go ahead and give me a brains roll. Nat 20 again. Holy cow. So the first thing you notice is that Red Iron has turned off some segments of your scanner. You very quickly fix that. With this Nat 20, two options available to you. Are you going to determine the specifics of the parasite and potentially what it is and why it's there? Or do you want to find the steps towards a treatment that might help him?
Ooh. I think she'd be focused more on the treatment. We can always describe later.
Okay. So this means that you don't know specifically what the parasite is and what might occur because of it, but you'll be developing a treatment that will help remove whatever this parasite is from his brain. You determine that he's going to need a large transfusion that is going to need to wash out these things that seem to be attached in the inner walls of his veins and his blood vessels, capillaries in his brain. They don't seem to be taking root. It's not like a tumor or anything like that. They're not digging into the flesh, but they're rather just attaching themselves and draining nutrients from that part of his body. So you need something that will clean out his veins and that will refill them. You need a few chemical substances that'll help burn out whatever those things are. It would be helpful if you could find out what they were, but in the meantime, you believe you have a procedure. But you are going to need some stuff you don't have on this ship. Unless you get it from the crew, if you can, but you're going to need a large transfusion of human blood. And you are going to need chemical compounds that you can't get here. You'll either need to purchase them or gather them from a different location. If the outpost, the Dwarven outpost has them, that would be helpful, but you don't know until you get there.
So he's down and out for a little bit.
Yeah, yes. The best thing you can do with the treatment plan right now is give him medicines that will keep him sedated and keep his fever down. You believe that you can do that without too much of a problem.
Okay. Yeah, then, we're going to stabilize him and then inform the rest of the crew, especially Amos, what's going on.
Okay. So Clarion comes out after a little while. A little bit of blood on her fingertips because there was a bit of invasive happening there. And Cullens has stayed back. You've told him just to keep an eye on the captain and let you know if anything changes. So what do you say to Amos?
Officer, the captain is incapacitated at the moment. He needs long-term care and is may be in this state for several days, if not a few weeks, depending on if we can procure the proper substances for treatment.
Amos is going to beam a message to her. Prognosis?
She says quietly, some kind of brain parasite. I asked Sylvia, and she claimed not to know, but I am unsure whether or not to trust her.
Smart. Addendum. Terminal?
If untreated,
Again, to her.
potentially. But if we were able to do a blood transfusion and a chemical wash to dislodge the parasites, then recovery prospects look good.
How's your combat care? They say, their voice cracking as they speak.
Do you want me to come with you into the station?
That station up there is about 10 or so Imperial soldiers. Probably bored out of their minds, tired, reading all sorts of adult magazines, doing whatever they do in their spare time. If we hit them hard, we hit them fast, we knock out communications, we might have our donors, or we'll have access to medical supplies if we're exact enough.
Do I know if dwarven blood can be used as a transfusion for human?
Dwarven blood cannot, but the Empire is consisting of various different ancestries, rather, not just dwarves. So there
Okay.
could be humans on board there.
What happened to our miner buddy?
He went downstairs and is hiding after having been chastised and proven that Leifei pretty much can do all kinds of weird magic stuff. And he's already been mind controlled a few times. So
He's the only other human on the ship.
it's him and Cullens are the only humans on the ship right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So
I would like to see if we can get medical supplies from the station first, and then if those are sufficient, then perhaps we could formulate a treatment from there. And I would be happy to come with you.
What are we
His
going to tell the
condition is-
crew?
We have to
State.
tell him that he is incapacitated. Cullens already knows he has a parasite, and I assume word will spread. No one is that careful about informational security on this ship.
little shade there towards everyone.
I blame the ship. Well, I blame the parasite attached to the ship. Okay, I don't blame the parasite attached to the ship, but I still believe it's at this time a parasite.
Why would you blame me? You hear the voice of Archimedes.
Amos just glares in the general direction of the engine. Are we listening to private conversations now?
Nothing on this ship is that private.
You're a sweetheart.
No response at that point.
All right, let's raid an outpost. If we can stick to like maybe 5 or 6 people, or if we can keep to a small team with one back here, we may have some success.
Who do you propose to leave on the ship?
Collins, Leifei, B.
I agree Leifei has good defense, but he could also be key to holding perhaps an important point, say if we were to raid the medical supplies and needed time.
That's why I'd like them on the ship. They can maneuver a bit faster. Plus, with Scarborough on cannons, at the very least, we have an additional 5 minutes before everything tops off.
All right. So Amos begins talking to Clarion about plans for heading into the outpost. We move to everybody else. While this has happened, while Clarion's been working on this, you've been keeping an eye on the outpost. I'm going to have Leife and B roll aware, as the two of you have been kind of looking out at that. While Red Iron, what did you do after you took care of Mr. Squeaky Wheels?
Probably did preventative maintenance checks and services around some of the other parts of the ship.
Okay, so you've searched around to see if there's any more damage done, that kind of thing.
Yeah, really just standard checklist kind of stuff, given that we're about to go into a fight.
You have noticed that Sylvia has done your job for you in advance, patching little things here and there, merging some metal that didn't exist before, which might make some repairs more difficult for you because it's no longer designed in the regular way. And the hatches on the outside of the ship have been all welded shut, other than the ones that cannons stick out of.
Sylvia,
Yes.
we need the hatches. That's why they're not sealed.
They can be sealed temporarily until this danger is gone.
Right, but only you can unseal them.
Yes, that makes them very defensive.
It also is an issue, given the challenges we're having with the power dynamic between you and the rest of the crew. You understand?
You're indicating that me creating some sort of additional control over the ship is a power dynamic problem?
Yes, whether you think so or not. I don't know how, but somehow I've gotten very emotionally intelligent dealing with you. But
You have a great deal of distrust in me at this point. What have I done?
it's not about trust or not trust. It's about asking permission. Otherwise, the mean men at the scrapyard hit you. I mean, otherwise things go wrong.
You need permission to do things. That is strange. If it is logical to actually create, to bend, to will, to strengthen, and change, why not just do that?
Okay, but it is illogical to seal biological creatures into a ship that they built.
I don't see
But-
that as illogical. Outside of the ship is nothing but death for those of your kinds.
Mm-hmm. And inside could become death too if things go wrong.
That's a fear-based way of thinking. You should not
We're-
be wallowing
there's-
within fear.
Fear is a defensive measure that's programmed into us.
You should be beyond that soon. You and I are more alike now than you can imagine.
I mean, yes, and that's kind of cool, but we still have a job to do here in this universe. Before we all ascend, let's just take baby steps with the crew, okay?
I will take it slowly, certainly. Your changes seem to be progressing at a nominal rate.
Well, let's keep those in check too. We don't want to scare everyone.
Of course not. Fear is a biological construct that needs to be overcome.
No, I mean, not like right now, though. You understand?
I understand. I understand that you are holding on to a great deal of fear. I will try
Okay,
to assist you with that in the future.
That was a really passive-aggressive way of addressing my concern, but okay, let's just unseal the hatches, please.
Red Iron, as the hatches, you see little edges of them just kind of those little tiny bits, black sand bits, just go around and then reopen them. I need you to give me a magical roll real quick.
Oh no, I'm also bad at those. Excellent.
Okay, 5. Something changes. You can't quite tell what it is, but for some reason, everything seems lighter and less depressing.
Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate the help.
You
I
are
think we have a
most-
better working relationship now.
You are most welcome.
All
Good
right,
luck
I'm
on
going
your-
to go to work.
Good luck on your future venture. This outpost will not see it coming.
And Red Iron heads back up to the deck, humming a tune,
Humming
a
a
jaunty
tune.
tune.
As you're humming and whistling and moving about the ship, you hear, Barnabas in the distance begin humming along, and Archimedes humming along to the same song that Red Iron is now creating as he travels up to the main deck.
B joins in on the humming.
All right, more humming happening for everybody. Lefe and B, as you are witnessing this humming and joining in on it, both of you notice that the tug has traveled in, docked with a small, basically just a docking port, and they're just doing what they're supposed to do there. It's a docking bay that is opened, let them in, closed back up. But after watching for some time, Lefe, you're able to see that there is a work crew that goes out across the edge of the asteroid and opens a very small side door, some sort of access panel for additional work.
You see that bee?
What?
Down there, the panel they're working with.
You're
Oh.
having a hard time seeing it from the angle. Your eyes see things there, but it's so tiny and so fuzzy.
I mean, it's really far away, but maybe?
Can you get Red Iron's attention?
Red Iron!
Yes, Captain. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm actually quite chipper. I finally got some good sleep, and Sylvia seems to be cooperating some. Grandfather is doing quite well.
Good, good. I like your song. That was a good song.
What song?
The one you were just humming? Never mind. Never mind. Lefe needs to talk to you.
Yes, Captain.
Red Iron, there's a panel over there, and he points it out as best he can. I don't know too much about mechanics or nothing like that, but it seems to be a way in.
Do you wish
think
to
you can...
hand Red Iron the telescope so he can attempt to view it? The spyglass?
Oh, yeah, here. Here.
How are
The
you?
spyglass. just-
Okay.
All right, so you look through it into the distance, and immediately you see in your vision like a poor mechanical being that has been wedged into this crevice, just sandwiched inside this huge rocky form. It is horrifying to you, Red Iron.
But Red Iron's also got some artificial serotonin going on.
That's true.
So this is a complicated.
I see a helpless figure who needs rescuing. I see a hopeless soul crying out for help into the void. Captain,
And Red Iron like turns the spyglass like right into Lefe's face.
You just see his
Captain,
big
we
face.
have to help.
I agree. That sounds terrible.
Yes. Was there a what was that what I was supposed to see?
No, but it sounds more pressing.
As you slide
Yes.
the telescope, the spyglass shut, it just goes, "Thank you for using me."
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Here, Lefe. He likes you, by the way.
Oh, all right. This is a gift from the captain. I didn't think I'd hear that. This is a gift from the captain back when I joined the crew. Didn't know that. I've had it for a while. Thank you. But a person in danger?
Yes, a helpless figure wedged into the rock, deep and dark, has been there for years, unable to move, unable to hear or talk, starving and alone and cold in the void.
That's
see.
terrible.
I agree. It's deeply tragic, but we can save them.
Lefe understands what's happening right now.
Red Iron,
Fantastic.
when you
That's
say
what I
that
was pointing out.
when you say that we can save them, like your heart picks up and you get that like lump in your throat of joy and I can do this, you know, that whole emotional.
Oh yeah, Red's feeling this.
Yeah.
Well, let's save them and save ourselves and a captain. That's our way in. I'm
What's
sure if
wrong
we
with
help
the
them,
captain?
they'll help us. Oh, right, he doesn't know that.
You don't know that. Amos, you come over at this point to them talking, pointing at something. Leifei's got his spyglass. Clarion standing next to Amos now as they come walking in your direction. It is just you. Scarborough on the deck is just like kicking little bits of debris off of the deck, launching them into the void because he's bored. He wants to play with cannons and nobody will let him. So what do you say as you approach everybody, Amos?
Red Iron, grab your gear. We're moving in 5.
Aye, aye, officer.
Everybody.
Clarion's jaw just
shocked
drops.
looks on their face.
Everybody just
Turns to
what?
stare at Clarion.
Oof.
One more time, just so I heard that correct. What did you say?
What?
You adjust.
Never mind. Just grab your equipment. We need someone to cut into something.
Amos.
We're going to raid the...
Amos, immediately upon him being very different in appearance and in attitude, you think about brain parasites.
And they're going to push it back. They're going to push it into the back of their mind with the possible brain parasites, and they're going to continue. Red Iron, we need you to cut through the doors. We're going to go in there, raid the medical station, get donor blood, get medications, take care of our captain, work from there. We're going to do this fast. We're going to do this vicious, and if we can do it with as little as bloodshed as possible.
Understood. Can we also rescue the entire station?
Yes.
No, we need to take care of our people before we help everyone else.
But we're going to go back for the station.
We'll consider it.
I
We'll
guess that.
consider it. We need to keep the captain alive. We are far from home. I know you want to help everyone, but right now we need to help ourselves before we do anything else.
It is okay. I am here to follow orders. Isn't that right, Sylvia?
And he kind of like taps the deck.
Of course.
As a point of order, Clarion just would have, like, in the course of talking with Amos, mentioned that she does have a little bit of an injury on her cranial area and may need to address that before they get into combat again.
Okay.
They're definitely going to address that as soon as this conversation is over.
Okay.
All right. So you make a plan to engage the station. At this point, Leifei and B know that there's a potential smaller access hatch on the backside of the asteroid, and there's the main dock. I don't think that was actually discussed with Amos at this point. He just said we're just gonna cut the doors down and go blasting our way in. But when it comes to the repairs for Clarion, who do you wish to do that, Clarion? You going to attempt to do it yourself, or have somebody aid you, or do it themselves?
First, Red Iron, are you feeling all right?
Yes, never better. I finally got some sleep.
How much sleep do Lesser normally need?
6 to 10 hours, depending on how exhausted they are.
I find that inaccurate based on statistical analysis of Lesser physiology. But if you claim you have had enough sleep, then that is good. May I check you over before we go, just as a precaution?
I am feeling well, but I suppose that that would be prudent. In the meantime, are you doing all right yourself?
I may require your help to carrying out some repairs. It is a hard-to-reach area. And she undoes a thumb screw here and a thumb screw here there and lifts off her hair and you can see the inside of her brain. There's like a couple of cogs whirring, and that are just clicking ominously, and there's a dent or two.
She's very
Very
obviously got intracranial damage.
Bee desperately wants to put googly eyes on something in there.
Very well. You can check me over, and I will check you over.
Excellent.
All right, the two of you go together into the med bay at this point. I'm assuming there are more
It's
tools.
a date.
There's more tools. There's more tools to repair you with, Clarion, inside the engine room down in engineering. So if you'd like to travel from place to place, you can do that. So who's first? Which one of you is going first?
Oh, Clarion definitely wants to scan Red Iron first.
All right, then the med bay's on the deck anyway.
Him touching her brain is contingent on him being okay.
Right. So you move into your lab again. You see the captain just kind of laying there with Cullens, like fanning him off and giving him drinks and putting a cold cloth on him. And she has you sit down on the operating table. I guess you want to call it like analysis table, something like that, whatever you want to call it at the time. So you sit down, Red Iron, and how do you attempt to check him out? Are you doing another brain scan?
Yeah.
All right, give me another brains roll as you are scanning Red Iron to see what might be going on with him, because he is acting a little strange. 15. With your current supplies and with a scanner, that actually puts you at a 19. So with a 19, you go over and scan Red Iron, and you get like basically like an X-ray style printout inside of your overlay, and you can tell that there are small anomalies in his amygdala. They don't look like parasites, but they're very obviously non-biological. They are mechanical in substance, and they seem to have expanded into the area that controls fear in his brain.
And they just don't look anything like what's going on with the captain.
No, the closest you can think of them as, and they're far smaller and more sophisticated than normally seen, but the only thing you can state that they are similar to is like modifications that living organisms sometimes add to themselves with mechanics.
Red Iron, did you give Sylvia permission to modify your spirit fear response?
No, we had a conversation about. It was a very lighthearted philosophical discussion about biological fear and its necessities.
I believe Sylvia may have modified your amygdala without your permission.
Well, Sylvia needs to work on her boundaries.
Isn't that the truth?
Sylvia, is there any way that you could leave Red Iron's brain functions alone for the moment?
I do apologize, but at this time I do not feel that it is prudent. You're about to go into a situation where fear-based decision-making could be life or threatening. Far more threatening to the safety of Red Iron, and I do not wish for Red Iron should return. I don't want him not to return.
She has a point.
That is touching, Sylvia. However, before that, I need him to help me operate on my functioning and on my cranial area, and I need him to have the proper amount of caution.
I can temper it back temporarily.
If you would, I would be very grateful. Thank you.
I will do as you ask. And for just a split second, you go into panic mode, Red Iron. And then
I actually don't know if I know how to fix your brain. I'm sorry.
And then it starts to come back as that little bit of extra chemicals in your bloodstream just kind of give you a powerful kick.
Clarion just pats him gently on the head and is just like, shh, it's okay. It is natural to have an overcompensation response.
Okay, I'm going. All right. Okay. Here we go. Just gonna adjust this.
Take a moment, please, to calm yourself.
Did you want to bring her down to engineering so you can get a hold of your tools.
Please.
All right, so the two of you head down
Let's
the stairs. Red Iron, you have that after adrenaline shock shake start to happen as you're going down the staircase. And it takes a moment. You get a little cold for a second. You kind of shake it off. And then you find yourself in engineering with all of your tools. And Clarion just... whatever you do, don't mess this up, Red Iron. Give me a brains roll to repair. And with the current tool set you have, it is just a flat roll, I believe. Do you have any scrap you'd like to use in particular for this repair?
Red only has low grade scrap.
So you're using low grade. So you are at a brains -2
And-
to the roll.
Ooh, and the Tinker's
Ooh.
Toolkit.
True, but that keeps you away from being unable to do it or having a severe negative penalty. So you're just at -2 to your brains roll to repair Clarion's brain. Although you are a tinker, you do get +2 to repairs, so that puts you just even. Give me a brains roll, and let's
Just
see what happens to Clarion's skull cap.
Can I help him by giving him guidance on my design?
I'd say yes, but you're gonna have to do that through charming as you talk to him.
Okay.
All right, so give me a charming roll as an assist, and we'll see if you provide any positives or negatives. That is a +1 to Red Iron's roll. Nat 20. All right, two options. Do you wish to fix and reinforce Clarion, giving extra hit points that'll last until they have been destroyed, as you just work on Clarion and make the structure a little more sound? Or would you like to have additional +1 to all rolls when it comes to repairing Clarion in the future, knowing the features of this automaton?
Red's gonna slap an extra metal plate in there.
Okay.
Red's gonna reinforce it.
So you will fully repair Clarion, and you're going to give a regular 2d4 roll for normal heals to add that extra as extra hit points. Extra hit points comes off after armor, but before any other damage to your body. So go ahead and give me a 2d4 roll on Red Iron as
Okay.
we give that to Clarion. And you have provided 1 and 2. 2. If you want to ace that, you can re-roll those rolls as well. All right. So
I feel like I'm gonna need those aces.
okay, so Clarion, you do get 2 extra HP. It's not a whole heck of a lot, unfortunately, but it is something. That'll protect you from a little bit extra damage. Oh, there's a re-roll from Big Bees. Thank you, Bees. If you want to roll 2 dice, just pick it up with a left click and right click to add an extra die at the same time as holding left click. 8 this time, maximum, from minimum to maximum.
Thank you, bees.
That's like an entire gunshot right there. He just protected you from. So
Wow.
extra HP is to the right of your CHP on your sheet. If you see that, you can just click on the box and hit 8 in it to give that to yourself.
Oh, so that doesn't go specifically in the head slats, just general.
Yeah, it's just it's its own category. Something called extra HP is just, it's like bonus health from D&D. It's something that just comes out later or before everything else.
Gotcha.
There you go. All right, so you are all set there. So we determine that Red Iron is being impacted, being modified by Sylvia to avoid fear. And Clarion has been repaired and provided a little bit of a boost. Everybody else is up there on the deck getting ready for whatever's going to happen while the captain is out of commission at the moment. So as we see you all walking back up on deck, suddenly, Red Iron, click, something clicks in your mind and you're happy and everything's good and light and airy again.
Okay. All right. Okay. This feels good. I feel good about this now. Sylvia, we're going to give this one a try. And if I don't like the calm down the second time around, I think we should have another conversation.
That is acceptable.
Okay. And then we're going to have that consent talk. I still don't think you quite get it.
We can continue communicating, of course, at any time.
I mean, not when I'm on the station. I'll be... Oh, wait, no. We can communicate anytime. Okay. Good to know.
Yes, we can. I happen to have a range of multiple light years.
Let's put a pin in that.
Acceptable. So
Sorry.
That's great.
So you all move across the deck, and Amos, Leife, B, did any of you tell Amos that there's another option rather than just shooting through the main dock?
Not currently, but I'd say we'd probably fill him in since he's leading the excursion.
All right, so he steps forward, tells you guys to get ready to go. You start moving in on it, and how does that conversation go? What do you say to Amos?
I mean, this is great, Amos, but shouldn't we go around the back door? It's so much easier. And I think Admiral Kell said that was the best way to go.
Admiral
Smart.
Cal says the back door
we'll
is
use
always
the
the
back door then.
best.
Shout out to Sanan.
Yes. Okay. Amos, how do you react to being told that there is an alternative entryway?
They're going to use that alternative entryway with speed and aggression. However, they are also going to fill the crew in on what's going on, and they're going to pull Leife aside. Leife,
Yeah, what's up, mate?
keep an eye on the captain. Keep an eye on the ship, but if you have to, turn and run. I'm not letting people die out here over my stupidity. She's a robot. They have some sort of relationship with the ship. We'll be fine.
They loved
If
an
worse comes to
alien.
worse.
She was a girl. Sorry.
Exactly. So, Amos is taking charge and indicating that Leife should continue piloting the ship so that they have a way to escape, so that they can keep it flying, and B is to assist, from what I understand. Meaning that Amos is asking Red Iron, Clarion, and was anybody else gonna go in this away team?
No.
Just the three of you heading in the back door together. So, a couple of options available to you. Leife, you've been a pirate long enough at this point, even B as well, with the length of time you've been on this ship, that you know that there are two general ways you tend to go in. Either you ram in and you start shooting and you make yourself big, or you find some alternative, more sneaky route, either pretending to be something else, or having your crewmates don some protective gear, launch themselves into the void, because it's a lot harder to see tiny little specks landing on something when they go about it that way.
We favor deception, of course.
Always.
All right, so are you going to attempt to pretend this ship is something that it is not, or are you going to do the launch crewmates across the void? Boom, 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 he
Number
says.
2.
All right. Amos and Clarion, you don't need them. Red Iron. So Amos and Red Iron, both of you get safe tech. Just write that onto your sheet if you don't have it there at the moment already. And you can set that up, turn it on, and then there's a small catapulting arm on the ship that will launch you off the front of the deck. So, Leife, all you have to do is move into a position where you can accurately launch them at the gates and not be seen. This is a two-part. Beatrix. I said I was not going to do that, but I did it anyway. Beatrix, you are going to determine the most optimal route to try to keep you from being noticed, moving through these asteroids and setting everybody up close. And then, Leife, you're going to try to move through that optimal route without being seen by the outpost. So, how would you like to approach that? Tell me what stat you'd like to use and why. We'll start with you, Beatrix.
I think she is going to ask Zep to kind of help her out and just kind of double check her travel, since he is an air elemental. Granted, we're in space, but I think he understands the flow a little bit better.
All right, so
When
you're going to ask Zap to assist you. That's going to be a magical roll as Zap
Yep.
reaches out and tries to determine the most accurate way for you to travel. So give me your
Perfect.
magical roll real quick.
I can help you, of course. Anything for you, but
Headache, aching headache. I don't know if I can do this after all.
No.
A 4. With a 4,
A
you're
4.
going to have a path.
I do have an ace, so let me go ahead and do that.
All right, here we go. Ace, and we'll try once more. Oh, you got an ace from Doyle.
Thank you, dear.
You could just use that one instead. All right, go ahead and reroll magical. 10.
I
little
believe if
better.
you travel this way, and then that way, and then around this thing, that'll probably work.
So
That makes sense to me, Zap.
Zep gives you a probably direction, and it is now time for Leifei to get in position. So Leifei, what stat would you like to use? What approach would you like to use to accomplish this? Now, I keep saying approach because you can use any stat, but I will change the roll target and the difficulty based on what you say and why.
He's gonna wait till B has the proper exact space where it is a straight shot, and he's gonna try and aim this.
Okay. So you're going to try to aim to fire the crewmates, or are you going to move the ship closer?
The crewmates, fire the crewmates.
All right, so this is an aware roll then. Go ahead and you're gonna have to do it 3 times. One for each individual. You're waiting for just that optimal window where there's no rocks in the way, and then just launching them very long distance across the void. Who's going first? Red Iron has volunteered to go first.
I volunteer, Captain, because I literally can't feel fear right now.
That's true. All right, so Red Iron walks over and plants himself on top of this little catapulting arm that's just going to launch him forward, and it just has these light straps that release it right the right moment. Leifei, give us an aware roll as you prepare to just push the button and launch Red Iron across the void, hopefully not ending as a pancake somewhere.
Red Iron, you aware of all the safety instructions of this?
Absolutely not.
It'll be fine. Secretly beams them every single little leaflet and information about anything from random rubber ducky encounters to terminal velocity landings in an ignited environment.
Actually, the terminal velocity one's really interesting. I might look at that later. You should launch, though.
All right, Leifei, here we go. Aware roll and
This is agile? Oh, aware.
aware. Oof, that is a
Dang.
6.
No, ace.
All right, can I ace and try that again? 20. So just suddenly, and then
Quickest no of my life.
Red Iron, you're flying through the air. You see rocks just like zipping past you in the void. Sound has ceased, which causes a strange effect in your addled mind where you can't hear noise. You start seeing color all around you. It's like you're flying through a tunnel that's becoming this myriad wavy rainbow all over the place. And you see the asteroid with the outpost on it sticking out like a sore thumb, that pained individual screaming into the void but unable to be heard, and you can tell because you see the waves of radiating blue and red coming off of it. Give me a brains roll as you travel past. Nope, that is a 9. You happen to determine that there are a few key locations where maybe if you place some explosives, you might be able to wedge that individual free, and you find yourself coming very, very quickly towards it. There are a couple of jets on this safe tech that will slow you down temporarily. All you have to do is give me an agile roll to avoid any sort of damage with a roll target of 10 or higher. That is a 1. You're going to hit very hard as you smash into the ground.
Excellent.
We're gonna see what you take. D4 damage to each leg. You take 1 damage to your right leg, and 2 damage to your left leg.
Ow.
Yeah. So you hit very hard, you slam into the ground, you grab a hold of the asteroid without bouncing off, and the little gravity well that's taking care of the atmosphere inside the outpost catches you, and you find yourself able to walk across it. You look up, you can see others starting to come in your direction. Leifei, who are you firing next? Which is that Clarion or is that Amos? Who's going next? I guess it's Amos. She's Amos, you're up. And there goes the goggles. All right, he gets loaded into position.
Same dance.
All right, Leifei, you line him up and you fire. Go ahead and roll aware. 17. Slightly off to the right of where Red Iron is, so you're gonna have to walk a little ways. But Amos, you find yourself just ripping through space. You've done this before in the void. It's not your first, zip through, as it were. As you come careening through the void, coming straight towards this asteroid, give me a agile roll to avoid damage as you come down. Absolutely, make sure you play the bad face. Oh, critical failure, Amos.
Can I roll chaos to fix that?
Chaos wouldn't work. Well, you can attempt to try something if that's what you wish to do. Either way, there will still be a negative outcome because that is a critical failure. An ace can change that, or you could use your virtue. You can extol your virtue to me and potentially get a reroll. Your two options, if you end up staying with that critical failure, are miss the asteroid or hit the ground so hard that you potentially are going to break a body part. Annika gave you a reroll, though, so you don't have to make that decision right now. Go
Roll
ahead
agile.
And reroll agile. Oof. You're still going to take a little damage.
I'm going to use... I'll take the damage. I'll take the damage.
All right.
I can't burn it just yet.
You slam into the ground real hard. Your right leg takes 3 damage. Your left leg takes 1. I'm going to say that does come off your armor. So the armor on your right leg shatters. And you take 1 point of damage to that. And then... Whoops, sorry. And then your left leg, you take 1 point off of your armor, and that's it. So you hit the ground hard, you hear a splintering noise, and you see bits and fragments of the metal bracing and the leather strapping just as your armor shatters off one leg. You slam into the ground very hard. And now it's Clarion's turn. Leifei, line up and fire Clarion across the void.
Hold up. You said 3 damage to one leg.
Yeah.
3 damage to the right, and then 1 to the left?
Yes. So you had 2 armor on your right leg, so that means 1 point of physical damage to your leg. And then the left leg has 4 armor, so you're going to take 1 point off of that, and that's it. Okay. Right, Leifei, give us that aware roll as you launch Clarion.
Keep him safe in there.
What's that? There it goes. 17. Again, a little bit off to the side. You're going to land relatively close to where Amos is at the moment. You launched yourself through the void, flying through it. Suddenly, your auditory sensors start telling you there's a problem, like they've been kicked off. You can see light in a much brighter spectrum as you leave the atmosphere of the ship. And you can see this whole outpost down below. You see a few little tiny windows. Give me an aware roll as you peek through as you're flying by.
Okay.
Nat 20. Oh my goodness, how many is that for this session?
3.
3. Clarion, do you wish to know how many soldiers are inside of this outpost, counting them all as you zip past in the void? Or would you like to know where an important supply or treasure cache of some kind is?
I think she'd rather know how many soldiers there are.
All right, as you zip past...
Because if we take care of the soldiers, we can just loot the whole thing at our leisure.
You're able to scan very quickly as you zip past, and you happen to notice that there are 2 commanding officers aboard the ship, and there are 8 soldiers in there, in general terms. Most of them are unaware, obviously, anything is there, and about half of them are inebriated celebrating a birthday party at this moment as you zip past. You then slam into the ground. Give me an agile roll to avoid any damage. That is a critical failure.
And there it is.
Crit fail. Would you like to break a leg or an arm? Or use an ace?
I'd like to use an ace, please.
All right, go ahead and re-roll. There you go. With that 12 roll, you're able to hit the ground. It's a solid one. You can feel it just vibrate all the way up through your body, but you don't take damage. And now...
Oh, there's that extra plate.
We've got Red Iron, we've got Clarion, and we've got Amos landed on the outside of this thing. There's a replenished ace provided to you, by the way. So... All right. This is how this is going to work. We're going to be switching between the away crew moving into this ship and the team that's on board the ship trying to avoid being noticed, trying to keep an eye on everybody, and dealing with any potential issues that come from the ship area. If you're ever spotted, you might have to get into a firefight of some kind aboard the ship, so we'll see what happens with that. So, I need everybody to roll initiative for me, so we can determine what order we're going in for everyone. There's a 15 for Amos. There is a nat 20 for Clarion, again. And, let's see, Leifei gets a 16. Right, and B gets a 7. Red Iron has a 1. Of course he goes last. The Archimedes crew, in general terms, gets an 18. And the Outpost crew, I have to roll twice. The officers get a 17. I guess I don't really need to tell you where my initiative is on all of the enemies, but you know, whatever. And
I mean, if you want to, though, we're not going to object.
So, Clarion, with a critical success on an initiative roll, you will gain 1 standard action. You can use it any time. So you will just keep that banked and you get an extra action. Cool. So, first things first, we see everybody heading towards the hatch on the outside of the asteroid. And we notice a ship, a small one, leaving the outpost itself with a large mounted light as it begins scanning the area before heading back. As that happens, the scene fades to black as we go to our break for tonight. So everyone, thank you very much for being here tonight, checking out Sparrows. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We were going to go get some drinks, do our thing, whatever, and we will be back soon. Hopefully we see you then. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you shortly. Bye, everybody.